to be with all of you this morning or this afternoon, depending on where you are. Today we're going to be talking about accelerating your efficiency, utilizing Totango SuccessPlays, and I'm also going to be giving you a sneak peek today of our new Team Productivity Dashboard, which will be launching in about a week or two. I'm been with Totango for about a year now, getting close to that. Prior to that, I worked with LinkedIn for 7 years and helped to grow their customer success team from a mighty team of 3 to over 200 people globally in that time. So very excited to be back in the startup environment and excited to be here at Totango with all of you today. So we're going to walk through creating your success plays and why you should be using them. We're going to talk about how to report on those tasks that the success plays are kicking off. And then we're going to do that preview of the team productivity. And there's also time for Q&A. Please do not feel like you need to save those questions until the end of our time today. Go ahead and utilize the chat window to chat with me, and I'll be answering questions as we go throughout. But we will have some time at the end for additional questions as well. So today, as we look at the Totango's customer success platform, many of you are leveraging us for that. But manage onboarding on the campaigns as well as the insights. So as we think about accelerating productivity, what you're trying to do is really guide your team with best practices. The team is growing, and you really want to leverage what you've learned in the past. Looks like someone can't hear me, so just one moment. Let's see if I can do something to change that for you. So as we go ahead and chat back to me if you're still having an issue. Oh, great, thanks, Julie. So as you think about some of the best practices that you've devised as you've been growing your team, using those to kick off specific workflows for your team, whether it's around onboarding and making sure all the steps are covered to ensure a successful onboarding. Is it keeping track of your account over time and ensuring adoption and making sure that renewal is going to happen and allow for that an upsell opportunity and making sure they're engaging with your product? It's also giving you a place to have one system of record. I can see everything about my accounts, whether it's an account information, usage information, but also what has my team been doing, whether it's the salesperson or a customer success manager. And then also being able to really be able to say, hey manager, I need your help here, and assign tasks up or across the organization. And making sure you're taking the right actions based on the right data. Also allows you to think about how you might want to approach work based on a contract value. So thinking about high touch versus low touch and maybe some different tasks that you want to be pushing out in workflows. Being able to see all the information up to the minute. I know exactly what happened. When I was on vacation, when I came back, I had my list, or I might be working on my mobile phone because I'm out of the office today, and I can see on the Totango mobile app what's happening on my accounts, and I can also log the information so my boss back at the office can see what I've done. Another thing that we've done is also sync this information with Salesforce. So any tasks or touch points that you're putting into Totango will be pushed right into Salesforce at the account level. So if you want to see it there, you can as well. I'm going to show you some reporting today, and then I won't be able to demo the Manage in Mobile, but I've already discussed how you're going to be able to create, edit, and assign those tasks to touch points right from your phone. As a CSM, when I'm looking at it, I'm thinking about what do I need to do today? My tasks are letting me know what's due today, what's coming up, is there something that I may have missed? I do have all my information in one place. I don't have to go to multiple systems to know what's going on with my account. And it also allows me to escalate. If I need my manager to have an executive conversation, I can push that in, or maybe I need to leverage a salesperson in on a conversation. Very easy for me to escalate as I need to. It allows me to measure my own activity and make sure I'm getting the right results. Am I following the best practices? Maybe I've created one that I can share with the team, and lets me know kind of where I am among the team as well. And am I focusing on the right accounts? Are my red accounts turning yellow and green? As we think about some of these workflows that you're going to want to kick off, onboarding is a great place to start. Maybe there's check-ins. Maybe it's eliciting feedback when onboarding is complete and you have a task that says to a salesperson to follow up on how did that go for you and is everything okay. Understanding if milestones are being met, if they're not being met, and so you can keep track of that. Do we need to change something in our onboarding process so that this flows better and more easily? As we think about upsell and expansion, I can now track. I know who's got high utilization. I know who has a lot of active users, or who's creating enough tickets so that I can actually say, it's time for them to move into a next package or to upgrade a piece of the product. Easy for me to create that task for the salesperson and CSM to reach out. Thinking about champions, we just reached out to our top 2% of our users and sent them hero t-shirts. So a great way for me to identify who are my super users and congratulate them by sending out their t-shirts. And then just thinking about monitoring events. How is the product team utilizing the usage information that's coming into Totango? This is a great way for them to launch new features and also to be able to see what's not being used so they can reach out and get feedback and have the CSMs help them in increasing adoption here. When a new user is added, I know that I need to reach out and make sure they're using it. Do they need training? License utilization changing, or maybe an account's not being responsive and I need some additional help. Some great ways to think about some workflows that you might want to be kicking off. And if you have any great ideas, please feel free to share them with the group via the chat. I'm going to give you a quick sneak peek. Really quick, that's what it looks like. We're going to go ahead and go to the demo, and then I'm going to show it to you live. So that's my short sneak peek for you. So I'm going to go ahead and change into Totango, but as I do that, I just want to check in and see what questions do we have so far. All right, looks like everybody is with me so far. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into my Totango demo account. So just a little bit of a warning, I don't complete my tasks in here since it is a demo account, so I do have some overdue ones, so be kind. So let's start with actually building out those success plays. Over on my left rail, I'm going to hit Success Plays. And this is going to let me go ahead and start creating my workflow processes. Now, as Totango, what we've done for you is we've created some that are recommended. So just kind of a place for you to get started. And it will actually just walk you through and actually pre-fill out a few of the information that we're going to have to do today. But I'm going to go ahead and create a brand new one. I'm going to go to the top. I'm going to click Create. And I can go ahead and start creating that workflow process. So in this case, I might want to do new feature adoption. Maybe we just launched the mobile. We'll use mobile for an example. We launched mobile, and I want to see who's not using it so I can reach out to them and remind them, hey, we've got this new mobile app. So in this case, it's going to, or another option would be QBRs. That might be actually going to really resonate with everybody. So let's set up a QBR or an account review. And in this case, the description is what the team's going to see. So it's going to be set up, let's say, a 6-month account review. Check if account is on track and any upsell opportunity. And show roadmap. And now I need to decide which customers do I want to be getting these account reviews. If you have a high touch, low touch, you might be looking at this from a dollar value or the size of the account, depending on what that looks like for you, or maybe what package they have. So I know I want to reach out to all of my paying customers. Health isn't going to matter to me. And then we've got a couple of other options here. If I go ahead and view Advanced Editor, I'm going to get a lot more options. So I can actually choose some other things that might mean something to me. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and hit Attribute. I'm going to use Create Date today. And these are going to be people whose create date is over 180 days. And I want it to go out just to a small group for now. Just in a range, so this is going to be a post onboarding. get them in this group. If I just say over 180 days, I'm going to get everybody. In this case, I just want a small group of people. Go ahead and hit save there. And I don't have anybody who's meeting this particular segment. Again, I'm in a demo environment, but I would definitely have a preview of my segment down at the bottom so I can see who exactly I'm hitting. I'm going to go ahead and take out one of these just so that we can see if I can get a preview for you. There we go. Just so for you to actually be able to see it down at the bottom, this is what it'll look like. I can see the last activity, what their health is, what their contract value is, and over on the right-hand side, I can see that as well. And I can see how many accounts I'll be setting this up for. Now I can go ahead and set up what that specific task is going to be. So what do I want them to do? So in this case, it's set up that account review, check for upsell, and show off my product roadmap. Make sure I'm on track. In this case, I want to send this out to the Success Manager. That's who's in charge of it here at Totango. Sometimes it is the Sales Manager. In this case, I'm sending it out to a group versus a specific person so that it looks at all the accounts that match, looks at who the Success Manager is that's mapped to that specific account, and it'll go out directly to all of them. Instead of saying I want them all to go to Adrian, because then Adrian is the only one who's going to get a task. I'm the person who's assigning it. I can always change that. I have my priority set, and when do I want this due? So I want them to have this set up and get this scheduled within 7 days of the task being assigned. Now, if this is a multi-step, then it's going to be a little bit different. So if I thought about like onboarding maybe, or it's multiple steps, I can go ahead and hit add task, and I can add as many tasks as I need to. So some people have 5 steps, some people have 3. So whatever's going to make the most sense for you. And then making sure the due dates are waterfalling right. It might be 3, 7, 14, whatever makes the best sense for you. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and click continue. And now I can get like an overview of, all right, is this really what you want to do? Again, I have my preview of my segment over to the left. I can see what task I created. Did I spell everything right? Did I capture all the steps that I wanted to capture? And down below are the accounts that will be receiving this. And you do have an ability to search, so if you want to make sure a certain account is showing up, so you know you set it up right, it's a good gut check. Now, if I'm not ready to send this out yet, I can go ahead and click disable, and this task will just be able to save it and let it wait until I'm ready for this to go out. Okay? If I am ready, I can just hit activate. I click activate, it's going to say, are you sure you want to do this? Make sure. And then I can go ahead and click continue, and it's going to go ahead and start thinking through the process, and then it's going to send out all those tasks. So within the hour, all my tasks are going to be set up for all those 109 accounts. Okay? One thing it will continue to do is it's going to stay on until I turn it off. So as soon as someone else meets my criteria and they get added to that list criteria, the task will get kicked off to that account. Now your Success Manager is going to get an email letting them know that they've got a task set up. And if I go to my portfolio, I'll be able to see that in my notifications when I have a new task, as well as if I click on tasks, I can see all of the tasks that I have. In this case, mine are overdue. I can also go ahead and see any that I completed if I wanted to sort that way. But if I had them due later, I'd have a separate filter here. I can also see them specifically on the account themselves. So if I click on Time Warner, as a task gets keyed off, it's going to show up in the open tasks over on the right. And if I go down to the bottom, I'll be able to see my tasks here. In this case, my task is overdue. Okay. As you close your tasks, just as a reminder, you have the ability to create a touch point. So what did you learn from that account review? Use what you're going to want to learn. Type in here any key information, any upsell information. Is there something on the product roadmap that they want to be in the beta for? Any feedback that you received. Okay. And all that information is now going to be moving over into the timeline as soon as the system refreshes. I'm going to go ahead and check the chat window for any questions. So we've got a great question here. Can tasks be managed in Salesforce as well? So right now it's a one-way sync. So right now all the touch points and all the tasks that are coming out into Totango are pushed into Salesforce and listed under activities. You cannot close the task in Salesforce. We will rewrite it every time we match up the data. So there is a link to the task in Totango that you can click on. It'll take you right in, and you can close it from there. Or you can go to your Totango tab. So if you tend to be in Salesforce sometimes, you can go to the Totango tab in Salesforce and close it from there, and it'll give you a link in. We are working on making this a bi-directional sync. This is a priority for me, and I can add this in for your account as well. So we're looking to have that done by the end of the year, where you'll be able to close your tasks within Salesforce, but not today. Okay, great question. Now it's coming in. Let's see, one more question. All right, great. So now I know I've got all my success plays, but now I want to do some reporting and see what's happening with them all. So I come on into my accounts, and I can create my account list. Here's where I can start doing some reporting. Maybe I want to just know who's got tasks that are overdue. I come down to more account filters, and I sort down all the way to the end. I can just say, show me my overdue tasks. I can see what tasks are coming up. Maybe I'm meeting up with one of my account managers or my success manager, and I want to talk to them about what they've got coming up and what help they may need. I can do that, or I just want to see all the open tasks. One thing I might want to do is look at created tasks. And I want to say, I'm going to change this up, and I'm going to say someone who has created 0 tasks. We'll do the last month. And I want that for my poor health account. Maybe somehow I've missed some of them, and I want to know who I've missed. And then I can look at it based by success manager or sales manager to say, hey, you've got these established accounts that you haven't been touching. What's going on? We need to make a plan for these accounts. Okay, so it's another way to kind of look at the information based on those workflows. Okay, you can see who's trailing behind, who's ahead, how's the onboarding going, are those tasks getting closed, are we stuck somewhere? A great way to do some reporting. So I'd like to show you my sneak peek. So right before I do that, I'm going to double check for questions one more time. If you have any questions, feel free to put those in the chat window. I'm going to give you a minute to go ahead and type those in. All right. Looks like we're good so far. And I'm going to go ahead and click on my executive console. Now this is going to be a new menu item for you. We've moved the health console underneath the executive console, but everyone has access to it. It's not something that would be hidden from anyone on the team just because they're not titled VP. But what's new here is this team, and this is what you're going to be getting in the next 2 weeks or so. When I click on team, now remember this is a demo environment, so and they're finishing building it up, so not everything's working quite right yet, but you'll get an idea. So this is what it's going to be telling me. In this case, it's looking at the last 14 days. I can change my date range. I can see the number of activities my team has created. How many touch points or notes have they done? How many tasks have they completed? I can see how many accounts have been covered. We've got 137 accounts. 88 of them have been touched. How many active days do those accounts have? And is that on the rise? So of those 88 accounts that we've touched, I can see that the active days have increased, which is a great thing to see. And my active user percentage has increased as well. Down below, I can actually see the performance of my success team. So I can see if I want to do a little bit of sorting here and I want to know who's number one, if I click on number of activities, and I'm going to do it this way, we've got Ron at the top here. Ron's been a busy bee. And I can see he's touched 27 of his 30 accounts. So he's got some great coverage going on. I do see some issues where active days and the active user percentage has gone down. So I want to do a little bit of research to find out maybe he's got a lot of onboarding accounts, so they're not very active. So that could be part of the problem. Or maybe he's taught them some efficiencies and they're not having to log in as much. What's happening here? And then I can see his engagement score. So what this is telling me is his engagement score has gone up 2 points. So it was at 69 14 days ago, and now he's at 71. And I can see here everyone's pretty much trailing up. Cecilia's staying even. Okay. Couple things to note before I kind of dig in here. If you come up to the top of the screen, you're going to see a little cog wheel. When I click on that, it's actually allowing me to change the selected metrics. I might not care about active days and active user percentage. There might be something else that I want to be paying attention to. If I don't want active user percentage, I can make that go away, and then I can go ahead and select something else. If you know what you want, you can type it in. Maybe you want to track CSM sentiment. Okay. Pull that in, check mark that, and now the column's going to go ahead and change. You only have 2 columns that you can change, but at least you know you can change those. The TV button actually allows us to go into full screen mode, and then you can Chromecast it or put it up on the TV, and it'll refresh every second. Otherwise, this refreshes every time you refresh the page. Okay. So let's go ahead and see a little bit about what Ron is doing. Now this is where not everything's working yet because we are in beta. So right now I can't tell you what accounts he's covered, but I'm going to go ahead and click on not covered. I'll be doing the same thing if I was in covered. It would show me the accounts he's touched, the health, the contract value of those accounts, how many activities he did. I can see the active days in the CSM sentiment because I had changed that column, so it changes it here as well. Okay, so now I know, hey, he's got some poor accounts in here and he's not touching. What's going on with those accounts? So we need to create a plan. Okay, and if he has any overdue tasks, I'd be able to see that here. In this case, it's showing that he's completed them all, and that part of that is because those 2 screens aren't working right now. Okay, but a great way to have a one-on-one with your team and be like, hey, what's going on? Or maybe you're doing great. What's really working for you that we can share with the rest of the team? Okay, so that's your sneak peek for today. So watch for that in the coming weeks. We'll be sending out emails around that. I would say another thing to think about is, because campaigns is coming, as you think through the workflows that you want, which are actual workflows like for high touch or some ones that you really want to make sure communication is happening versus those where I've got a lot of accounts and I manage 500 accounts and I can't talk to every single one of them and I can't do account reviews every 3 months with all of them. So maybe some of them are going to be getting email campaigns to check in with them and to communicate, or others are going to be getting that phone call, or maybe there's some that I talk to every 6 months and they get emails in between, and there's some that I do talk to on a monthly or every other month or a quarterly basis. So some things to be thinking about as you're building out those workflows. And your CSM is here for you. This is what we do, so we're happy to walk through what your processes are, how we can help you improve them, and how you can help build those success plays within Totango. We are recording this, and I'm happy to send out the deck so you can see some of the ideas that I presented today in our call. We are nearing the end, and I promised some extra time for questions if anyone has some extra questions today. So I'm going to go ahead and move into that mode for our last 5 minutes. Okay. What questions do you guys have for me? Okay. Looks like I did my job today. I'm not, no one's got any questions, so it looks like I've done what I'm supposed to do, which is great news. So again, watch for team coming up, your success plays. What are those workflows that you want to be able to kick off in a very easy fashion to help get your team to understand what they need to be doing, and then allowing you to measure what they are doing so you can reward them for the great work they're doing, really being able to see those upsells coming in as well. Again, reach out to CSM if you have any further questions that might come up after the call today. We have recorded it, so we'll be sending out the YouTube link for that, as well as all of the slides. I want to thank you all again for joining in. It's been a pleasure to speak with you all today. Have a great weekend. Take care, everyone.